keeps getting better and better. It keeps getting better. It keeps getting better. It keeps getting better and better.
It's finally here, the most dangerous man in the world. I still have the author print. It has a big old thing through it, says not for sale. So I'm going to be able to get the book myself today. The most dangerous man in the world. It's time to become the man the kingdom demands. And you know, a lot of people say, why dangerous? And here's why. Every man in the earth is dangerous. Now, you're either dangerous because you're weak in a negative way, or you're dangerous because you're strong. There's not a man on the planet that's not actually dangerous. You see, to be a weak man is to be a very dangerous man. Why? Because a weak man conforms to the culture. And the Bible says, be not conformed, but be ye transformed. A weak man blends in. A weak man compromises. A weak man can be controlled. A weak man sits down when he should stand up. A weak man is quiet when he should be lifting his voice like a trumpet. A weak man plays soft, plays safe, plays small, and a weak man plays his life scared. God doesn't need weak men in this day and this hour. God doesn't need weak people. God needs dangerous people who are strong. See, it was weak Christian people who allowed Hitler to take over Germany. The church of Germany were silent when the evils of Hitler came on the scene. And it should have been the men of God who stood up to fight against that evil, but they were weak. They were compromised. And that's why I believe right now in the world, God is looking not for weak men. God is looking to raise up strong men. These men are different. These men refuse to conform. These men are contrarians. These men, when the world goes this way, these men go this way. The more the world heads towards evil, the more the man of God stands for righteousness. The more this dangerous man lifts his standards when everybody else is lowering the standards. You see, this man, this dangerous man, he cannot be controlled by like a puppet on a string. No, this man understands that God has given him fruition, that God has given him dominion over the four realms of his own life. This man doesn't play safe and small and scared. No. The kind of men God is looking for are men who dream big, think big thoughts, are supremely confident. These are men who like Peter, who step out of the boat of comfort and take a risk to do big things for God. You see, these men are men who have a burning desire in their heart. This says, God has a mission for my life. God has a purpose for my life. And out of that mission, out of that purpose, they're willing to do and go dangerous places for the King. Jesus was such a man. He was so driven by his purpose, it led him all the way to the place of the skull. That's why on the book I put a skull on my book. Some people, some Christians like, why you put a skull on the book? Because to me, when I see the skull, I think of my Jesus who was dangerous enough to go to the dark places, to go where no other man would dare tread, to go to Golgotha, the place of the skull, and do something dangerous, take on a burden that was bigger than himself, and serve the masses by giving his own life for the many. See, I believe, and in the book we talk about, I believe with all my heart that God is asking some men to rise up because God's got something difficult for you to do. God's got something hard for you to do. God's got something for you to do that's never been done before. God's looking for some men like that. God's looking for some men like Elon that says, hey, we've never gone to Mars before, let's go. God's looking for some Christian men who will do the impossible. God's looking for some Christian men who won't live in the world dreamless with no purpose, no direction, but looking for some men who have the guts to actually dream a dream, to declare the dream, and to speak the dream, and to work to building their future for themselves and their family, for the local church, and to help others. That's why we wrote, as you can tell, I'm passionate. I'm passionate about this because God has put this on my heart to empower men in this season. And unfortunately, we're living in a day where most men are like living life neutered. They feel like they're hopeless. They have no friends. They feel like they're wandering and they have nobody to coach them, nobody to help them at all. They have no direction. They don't have a map. And I know exactly where you've been, guys. I was there. $180,000 in credit card debt, no money in the bank, no relationships in my life. Bunch of losers. When I looked all around, bunch of losers. I was overweight, broke, frustrated, didn't have direction or a mission. And that year, God brought some men of God in my life that gave me a map that I needed to get from where I was to where I wanted to go. And I said, you know what? When I get to the place where I'm living my dream, I'm going to write something and I'm going to give the map that God taught me nearly 20 years ago. And now I'm living the dream that God put in my heart. And that's what the most dangerous man is about. The most dangerous man is you. It's you, a man of God who's set on fire for God. Super excited, super excited. Now listen, today you can get the book. You can get the book today at dangerouscoalition.com/book. If you're on Zoom, you can, you'll see it down in the chat. And I'm totally excited because my team and I, we got together and we said, man, we've got to do everything we can do to equip men. And so what we did was I sat down and I said, you know, what are some things that I can do? Because I believe that this is, to me, this is more than a book. This is a movement. This is the beginning of a movement where I believe, I'm believing for 100,000 Christian men to be empowered by this book, to be transformed by the dangerous movement. That's what I'm believing God for. That's my first level goal. That's my first summit that I'm aiming for. And so in that, I started thinking, what can I do to help men? It's not just the book. And one of the things I get as I coach men for the last 25 plus years is you don't believe how many issues I have with sex. Guys like, I'm having problems with sex. My wife, I got to beg like a dog, and have all these challenges. And I'm like, I don't have any of those challenges. And I kind of figured out, I do certain things that I don't have to beg, that she comes after me. And so one of the things that I'm doing is I'm doing this master class that's entitled How to Have a Sex-Full Life with Your Wife. And I'm going to unlock the secrets to really putting back passion in your life, and how to get back in the game. You had game when you first connected with your wife, and now what happened is you lost your game. And I'm going to show you how you lost it. Strategically, how you lost it. That's why you're where you're at. It's not your wife's fault. It's your fault. And I'm going to teach you how to get your game back in this masterclass. It's a $299 ticket, and we're going to give you free access to that. The second bonus gift, when you get the book today, man, this one is a big one. I have what's called the Dangerous Coalition. It's a group of men that I am coaching every single month, an elite group. It's called the Dangerous Coalition. Coalition simply means the gathering of lions. We know them in the past as we call it a pride of lions. They're also called a coalition, where lions get together and they work together to take over a region, a section of the jungle. And in the same way, that's why we have this coalition where I'm pulling men together, where we all get coached, we all grow, we all enter into a brotherhood, a pack of like-minded men who want to do something big for God, who want to succeed, who want to prosper, who want to not just know we're going to heaven, but live an abundant life down here on earth in all realms. And this right here is one of the most precious gifts that I could give you, because what we're doing, this gift right here, what we're doing right now is we're allowing you to pick your price. The monthly cost for this is $99 per month to be part of my coaching group. You're going to be able, I want you to hear me. This is what I told my team, I said, I don't want any man, if he wants coaching, if he wants to be mentored by somebody successful. And by the way, I believe every man should have somebody, every man needs another man, an older man. God brought them into my life. You're going to hear from two of them. God brought them into my life when I was in my 20s. Dave Williams, I'm pastoring a church at 27 years old. I didn't have a clue what in the world I was doing. And Dave Williams, through a book called Pace-Setting Leadership, came across my desk. I was ready to quit and give up, and I read that book, and I started to realize I was a spiritual man, but I was clueless on how to lead. And then that connected me to John Maxwell, and then boom, 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 boom. And I'm telling you, we all need these men. Men who've been there and done that and can speak into our lives. I don't want you to be lonely anymore. And so I created a path where you can be coached for whatever price you choose. We're taking money off the table. You got to pay something, because if you don't pay attention. So we got a link, a special link that's only for the book launch. When you buy the book today, you're going to be able to get access to that special gift. And then the next one is a new little booklet that I have called the Black Chair Encounter. Man, this is a 10-minute read. I can't tell you, I've coached over 200 executive leaders in the last 25 plus years. And every single leader I coached and helped take to the next level, they all had a common thread. They all had a common phrase that they would say. And until they changed that phrase, their business, their ministry, their life never changed. And what I did is I wrote a little novel revealing what that one little 3-word phrase is stopping men. And I put it in a novel form. Takes you 10 minutes to read once you discover it. This thing, that's why we call it the black chair encounter. It doesn't take long. It's a toilet read, guys, and it'll transform. That's a free gift that we're going to give to you. And then the next one is I'm doing 6 live, what we call dangerous summits for men. 6 live ones right here in Florida, 30 minutes from my house on Saturdays. And you're going to get a free ticket to that. We serve breakfast, and then we spend 2 hours on Saturday. And you're invited to come down. You're going to get a free pass to be able to come down, hang out with us, and have breakfast on me. And then you can participate in the live meeting where we always end in prayer, and it's some powerful encounters with God. We've already had our first one. We've got 5 more set up, that you can jump in for free. So those are the free gifts that we've given you access to. Again, that's dangerouscoalition.com/book. Right there, you can get it. And you'll see all the free gifts. It'll take you over to Amazon is what's going to happen. You click the link to get it. Put your email address in there so we know who you are. That ignites the free gifts. So we'll send you a thank you letter. So you have all the free gifts to be able to download, save in your phone for when you want to use them. And then you can go to Amazon, buy the book. And we give you the link of exactly where that is. And that's the process. And then you could either lock into your gifts right there on the page, or you can do it in the thank you note. But listen, if you want to be part of my coaching group, though, got to do that now. You got to sign up now. You can pay $1, you can pay $83 a month. That's where my team put the scale. You pick the price. But we're going to allow you to come in and be a part of that. And that's for lifetime membership. And the links, if you're watching on all of our platforms, the links are in the comment section right down below. All you got to do is click the link. Listen, I know sometimes men are like, oh, yeah, I'll do it. And then you never know. One of the principles you got to apply, I teach it in the Dangerous Men's book. Weak men wait. Weak men wait. Dangerous men have a code. I teach you a lot of codes, but one of the main codes a dangerous man has is he does it now. I do it now. When I think about it, I do it. I don't say, I'm gonna put it off till no. That's why you're fat. That's why you're overweight. That's why you're broke. That's why you're struggling, is because you keep saying, I'm gonna do it one of these days. And now 10 years later, 20 years later, you look at your life and say, why is my life all messed up? Okay, so code number 1 is do it now. Right now, as we're talking, you can click a link, you can go over there, and you can get your Amazon book, get those free gifts rolling into your life, and jump on board. I got Dr. Dave Williams. He's going to come. He's here. Such a precious man of God. Means the world to me that he took some time out of his busy schedule to show up today. And Dr. Dave Williams, can you come online and jump into this celebration party with us?
Man, when we talked on the phone, I don't know, I guess it was a couple months ago, about your vision, Dangerous Man, the Dangerous Coalition, I just about bounced off the walls, because do you remember Dr. Cho? I met Dr. Cho in New York in 1980 when he had 50,000 members in his church in Seoul, Korea. And he said that he tried to get men inspired and motivated to help him in this great project, but he couldn't find any men that would do it. And so he turned to women, and they did it. Now, I don't know where he went. Maybe he doesn't hear me. Can you still hear me?
I can hear. Yes, I can
Dr.
hear you.
Keith?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. You were just going to get a chair, huh?
Right.
I love that. I love that. I love that story about when you were $180,000 in credit card debt, living with your mother-in-law. Now I know why your mother-in-law hated you. But how you told Bonnie, and by the way, you have got such a precious woman there. You told Bonnie, I'm just a failure, blah, blah, blah. And she turned right around and put her finger in your face and said, I didn't marry no loser. And everything started changing when you changed your thoughts and your attitude. Because Dr. Keith, you know this and you teach this. It's your inner kingdom that will become your outer kingdom. And if your inner kingdom has, man, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to stand up for what's right. I'm going to stand up for orphans. I'm going to stand up for children. I'm going to stand up for the things that are on God's heart, just like you're doing when he put this on your heart, the dangerous coalition. You're obeying God, and that brings success. That brings real success. And so, just as Dr. Cho had to use women because the men wouldn't stand up, you want to see men in the churches, men in businesses that are standing up for what's right, what's good, what's godly, what's holy. And I love the way you write. When you write, I've read, I'm on chapter 4 now, so I'm taking it and I'm highlighting and all that. Honestly, Dr. Keith, you write in a way that people feel like you're sitting right there in the room having coffee with them. And I mean, you say things like, yeah, you feeling this? I get it. You know, it's like, hey, I understand what you're going through. I understand the struggle because you've been through it and you've come out of it. You've come out of it as an example, as a what I call pace setter. You told me about my pace setting leadership, but you probably got the first edition. It's in its third edition right now. But that's what God is wanting: dangerous pace setting men. And I honor you, Dr. Keith, for taking on this challenge.
That's awesome, Dr. Dave. And that's interesting about Dr. Cho. And so he literally, are you implying that Dr. Cho just literally gave up on trying to get men motivated, and he just
No, but he found that the women were willing to work. I remember Catherine Kuhlman said, she said, I believe God called a man to this position that I'm in right now, but the men just kept turning it down. And she said, I made myself available. And she had that big, huge ministry globally. And she said, I know God called a man who turned it down, who was too afraid to do it. And that's what's touching to me about you is you're not afraid. You really believe your confidence makeover book. You believe it, you live it. And you do things that are just out there on the limb. I heard a testimony when you were doing your 83K Nation of a guy that made 83,000 in 1 week because you had the courage to go out there and speak on it. And that's what happened to me when God called me to, when I was on a boat by myself praying, and I felt the Lord walk up to the boat and say, will you help me raise up 52 new millionaires in the church? And, you know, I never wanted to do that. I knew I'd be criticized, I'd be persecuted, just like you probably were in the beginning. And yet God showed his favor on it. And you know what? Every one of the mentors that I chose for that Club 52 were men or men with their wives. It had no, and I'm not saying, I mean, I would take a woman like, a multimillionaire woman that wants to help train others. But what I'm saying is I had the support of the men, like John O'Leary and several others, Dr. Scott Benjamin, Ray Tadgerson. I just so many people that helped me out, and it worked. I mean, and just like you have people, and you're far more advanced than I am, because 83K, a day, 83K a year, 83K a month, 83K a week, and then 83K a day. Now that is a huge, huge faith stretch.
Mhm.
But God was good to us, and we created, what was it, honey? 49 millionaires, 12 in the first 6 years. Now you do it faster than this. I'm a time and consistency person, and I've listened to you, Dr. Keith. I listen to your podcast, and I just want to say you inspire me. I drive down. I have an hour and 10-minute drive to my office, and back from the office too. Of course, is the same. And sometimes I'm just bouncing down the highway listening to you, laughing at some of the things you say that I'm not gonna reiterate here, but you just got a way about you. You shine, you radiate, and that book, The Dangerous Man, that book, I think every man in this country ought to have a copy of that and read it.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Dave. That means so much to me. Dave got an early, Dr. Dave got an early copy of it. I sent it out to him. And so that is so exciting. I'm glad that it's blessing you. And that's the one big thing that I think that is important is when God gave man dominion, he gave man, and this is what I learned from you. When I was in my house, I had nothing. And I learned that from you, that commission from God to have dominion. That word dominion means to lead, to manage,
Right.
to control, to dominate. That is not a soft, that's not a soft word at all. And so it's a call to not set back as a man. It's a call to be out on the front where it's dangerous. And today I just see so many men that I think the biggest problem we're facing, Dr. Dave, and you tell me if you see it, is disengaged men. More and more and more men are disengaging from church. Men are disengaging from their jobs. The job market's saying it. The marketplace is saying, men are just disengaging all over. And they're disengaging from their lives. They're disengaging from their health. They're disengaging from their wealth. And they're sedated into sports and video games and eating, and it's sad, but I believe that God is going to light a fire in some of these guys' hearts and in some of these guys' lives, and I believe it's my assignment, like Joel said in Joel 3 verse 9, to wake up the mighty men. Come on. And so that's my heart, and the whole concept of, all right, guys, God made us strong and built us strong for a reason, because he wants us out front.
Amen to that. And Dr. Keith, what that means is that the opportunities right now are greater than they have ever been for young men to skyrocket.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you hear what Dr. Dave said? That is so powerful. The opportunities for a man to do big things for God. That's why I said at the beginning of the monologue, guys, right now, is the most opportune time in the history of the world. If you're a young man and you got energy, the number one gift you need is number one thing Dave and I, we wish we had more of. We got lots of wisdom, but our energy levels, the aches and the pains in our bodies, we got to fight all this other stuff now that we didn't have to fight when we're in our 20s. But you young guys, you have such an opportunity. And the best advice I could give, and I talk about it in the book, men were built for brotherhoods.
Yeah, I read that.
That's why we have motorcycle gangs. That's why we have sports teams. That's why we have Corvette clubs. That's why we have the Lions Club. That's why we have all of these different type of men's groups, because men were meant to be together in a coalition, in a pride, to where we can roar together, and your roar inspires my roar. Your vision inspires my vision. And together as kingdom men, we're not jealous of each other. We don't compete with each other. We enhance one another.
There you go. Yeah.
And we catapult one another, and we celebrate each other's achievements. That's what you need, guys. And you can't do this alone.
No.
And that's why I wrote the book, The Dangerous Coalition. But more importantly, it's why we created not just the book, The Most Dangerous Man in the World, which is you, if you're confident. But we did this for a movement so that men don't have to be alone anymore. You know, Dr. Dave, 1 in 7 men say they have no other man as a friend. Wow. You know, Dr. Dave, there's another statistic that 93% of teachers in schools today are women.
Wow.
We're reaching over right at 60% of young boys today are being raised in single parent homes with their mother.
Yeah.
We're dealing with a generation that's being influenced by women with no male models that are influencing them. And I think this is the tragedy of our hour. And like never before, I believe it's time for a movement. I don't care if it's me. I don't care if it's Dr. Dave. I don't care who it is. But somehow, some way, shape, and form, we've got to see a move of God come to this nation to wake men up. Because, guys, you are the king of your kingdom. And I know we like to say, happy wife is a happy life. I don't believe that. Because all the men who told me happy wife, happy life, I looked at their wives and they're miserable. My father-in-law told me that. I'm like looking at my mother-in-law and say, she ain't happy. You know what I learned? I think it's the opposite. I think happy kings produce happy queens. One of the laws of the kingdom is the king eats first. If the king's not full, he has nothing to give his wife, nothing to give his kids, and the whole kingdom suffers. You have your own domain. You have your own kingdom. Your house is your own kingdom. And your wife is happy. Dave, I know you got something to say about this. Your wife is happy when you lead. She wants you to lead.
Is that true?
Yes.
She's over there listening to us.
Amen.
Is Molly there?
Yeah, I'm here. I heard that. I know. Women say amen. Women are like, it's like,
They do.
You get ready to go out to eat. Well, hell, where do you want? Where are we going out to eat? The wife says, oh, wherever you want to go, honey. And she's like, oh, brother, here we go again. What does she want? I have reservations at a restaurant at 6:30. Where are we going? Don't worry about it, honey. You're going to be happy with it. You're going to love it. Yeah, we are.
We are at war. We are dangerous to the enemy. You know, the devil only attacks a credible threat. So when we're strong, that's what the devil tries to attack. But I appreciate all you're doing, and I ordered my book before I got on here today. I actually went on to Amazon and ordered my book. So you're going to have to slide that black chair book to me under the table or something. I don't know. But I want to encourage you guys to get involved in these. Buy the book, get involved in what's coming, get involved if there's going to be a summit eventually, probably one day coming close to you, somewhere where you'll be able to get to it, and get involved in that as well. So thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your friendship. And from Negril, Jamaica today, God bless you.
Hey, good, awesome. Thank you, Dr. Jonathan. Listen, again, that's a good point that Dr. Jonathan brought up. Listen, don't go to Amazon. If you go to Amazon and get your book, you don't get the free gifts. Dr. Jonathan gets it because he's got inside connection. But listen, you got to go to my website, and that's dangerouscoalition.com/book. And then there you just put in your name, your email address. Then we can deliver digitally the products to you, and the bonuses that are there for you will be delivered that way. So make sure that you do that, and do it that way so that you can get those free bonuses delivered right to your thing. So that's dangerouscoalition.com. If you're on Zoom, that link is right in the chat. If you're watching on one of our many platforms that we're streaming live right now, it's right on the link there above. Dr. Vivian, my dean from South Africa.
Hey, Dr. Keith, thank you.
Hey, Dr. Vivian.
What a great excitement and joy it is to be with you and celebrate this book launch. I think it's needed at this time for this generation and even for the generations to come, because we all understand where you're coming from as far as trying to influence us and impact us with the knowledge and the great wisdom that God's given you over the years, and it's a great joy to be a part of it. But you know, just to remind you as well, when we first met those many years ago, I think it might have been about 18, 20 years ago, and we met in Chicago at one of Dr. Rob Thompson's conferences in the back room. And it was Dr. Bonnie that was the one that came to speak to me. And had it not been for her, we would not be friends. We would not be in association in ministry together. But she was the one that approached me, and she said, young man, she says, God keeps pointing you out to me. What is it about you? She says, what is going on in your life? And at that time, I had just lost my first wife, and it had been probably about 2 or 3 months. And, you know, at that time, I was going through grief. And for those 3 years that I had been single and going through the grief period of losing my first wife, I literally had no man to talk to. And the people that were surrounding me at that time were mainly women, because I was going through different emotions, and I was embarrassed about my emotions, especially when you are attending a mega church and you're in leadership, and, you know, everybody looks at you when you're going through these emotions. And I think what you're doing, especially the fact that you mentioned tonight, that we men need to form a coalition where we can share things. And that was what was missing at that time in my life. And I mean, you guys, both you and Dr. Bonnie had been a great help to me during that time. And even with meeting my second wife 3 years later and getting married to her, you guys were very instrumental in making the right decision. But getting through the grief period was one of the things that I went through. And, you know, the Lord taught me a lot during that time. And I realized the one thing is that we don't have enough men around us. We don't have the kind of men that will support us when we're going through girly moments, you know, the tears and the heartache and the grief and the pain and who do you talk to when you're crying yourself to sleep every night? Who do you talk to when you get up with a shock in the middle of the night? So, you know, I think it's a great time, a great season, a great opportune time for us as men to gather together and begin to build one another up. One of the things that I've learned over the years is that champions are not built in the chicken coop or the chicken run. Champions are built on the battlefields of adversity. And if we have the right kind of men around us, we learn how to raise up gladiators so that we can become a great impact, not only for this generation, but for those to come. And that is what we all understand as creating a lasting legacy. And men lack that. Women are great at gathering together, sharing their feelings and building one another up. And that's why the churches, many churches are more filled more with women than it is with men. But this, I think, is going to shift the entire generations to come and shift the season for many of us as men, because so many of us carry so much on the inside of us, and we need books like these. We need great men like you and Dr. Dave and so many great men on this platform, I'm pretty sure. But, you know, if we can gather together and strengthen one another, I think we're going to be a great force to be reckoned with.
Janine's on the other side, my assistant. Janine, have I forgot something? Do you want to say something? And I want to turn the stage over to you real quick.
Hi, Dr. J. Hello, everybody. It's so good to be part of this great celebration with you today as you launch your latest book, Dangerous. So yes, I just want to emphasize, go click on the link today, buy the book so that you can receive the free gifts. Let me just recap all the bonuses that you can receive today. Bonus number 1 is the masterclass ticket that you're going to get for to be successful in your life. Bonus 2 is to join the Dangerous Coalition, where you can pick a prize. And then bonus 3, the Black Chair Encounter ebook. And then bonus 4 is to be part of the live events, the Dangerous Summits here in Florida, where you can join Dr. J on a monthly basis and have fellowship with fellow men. So thank you, Dr. J. Congratulations on your book.